The early 2010s. What a time. Barack Obama was president. What else happened? We had the emergence of the smartphone. Midnight releases at GameStop were still a thing. I had a toaster that would put Domo's face on my bread. And it was the time before all those kids that bought the Cookie Monster snapback went to jail. It was a crazy time to be a kid. But it was also a crazy time to be a kid watching TV. Banger after banger after banger after... And every now and then I get glimpses of what kids are watching nowadays and what's available to them. So join me today as I take a deep dive into the cartoons and shows of the early 2010s to see, were they really that good? In the late 2000s, Cartoon Network was kind of falling apart. Shows like Dexter's Lab and the Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo had all started to lose popularity as the decade went on. So in a panic, they did something that nobody expected or wanted. They launched Cartoon Network Real, which was a bunch of live-action Cartoon Network shows. Shows like Dude, What Would Happen?, Destroy, Build, Destroy, and Hole in the Wall. I'm not saying that they were objectively bad in my opinion, but they flopped really, really hard. Viewership was down, ratings were down, and the network was really in trouble. And then, just like the toilet after my trips to Dunkin', something came to save the day. Regular Show and Adventure Time launched in the same year, and everything started to turn around for them. Regular Show is still one of my favorite shows of all time. Some of these scenes I cannot believe they actually got on TV. Like the scene where Margaret's riding the bike and Mordecai's just... But watching the show with adult eyes really gave me a new perspective on some of the things I didn't see as a kid. I think the thing that Regular Show does best, especially when aimed towards a younger audience, is the real change that these characters go through throughout the story. My favorite thing about this show is the evolution of Rigby. He starts really lazy and unambitious, and by the end of the show, he's completely different. He gets his high school diploma, he has a great relationship with Eileen, and at the very end, you can see that they have a family together. But Regular Show does something else really great. It's not afraid to break your heart. By the end of the show, you see that Mordecai and Margaret don't end up together, even though that's where a lot of people thought the show was heading. We also lose Pops, who sacrifices himself to save the entire universe. Regular Show was not afraid to pull on your heartstrings and show you that sometimes life doesn't work out the way that you really want it to. Sometimes you don't end up with the person you thought you'd end up with. And I know that it sounds really corny when I'm talking about it, but like when you look at the audience that the show was really intended for, it's really impressive. What I want to talk about Adventure Time doing really well is not treating a younger audience like they're stupid. Adventure Time's world is so rich and filled with lore. One of the standouts from Adventure Time is Princess Bubblegum. When I was a kid, I always thought she was this amazing, do-good-always type character, but as I watched it as an adult, she's a complete control freak, and she loves her people so much to becoming obsessed with controlling them. There's a lot of nuance to Adventure Time, and I'm probably not the best person to talk about it because I've watched that show 3 times through, and I'm still trying to really absorb all the pieces of lore that there are. Total Drama was just fucking funny. I don't have anything to say about it, really. It was just really funny. Total Drama has the best theme song in the history of cartoons. I'm sorry. You can cancel me all you want. I don't care. And I gotta talk about Gumball for a second. That art style is unbelievably insane. I just watched the episode today where Richard is literally so unemployed that when he gets a job, the entire space-time continuum falls apart. It is such a unique show, and there is no other show that looks like it. So looking back on this era of Cartoon Network, one thing is abundantly clear. They were not afraid to take risks and be unapologetically original. We saw them try to follow trends and try to do what everybody else was doing with all the live action stuff they did, and everybody hated it. It wasn't until they took a step back and allowed creators to really be themselves and bet on original ideas that they got back to their glory days. I'm gonna be the first one to say this. It's time to take SpongeBob out into the back of the barn and shoot him. I'm sorry. We gotta put him down. This is not what Steven Hillenburg would have wanted. Stop with the spin-offs. Stop with the movies. Just give it a rest, please. Anyway, Nickelodeon took a very different approach to TV in this age. Instead of going all in on animation, they went all in on feet. I mean, sitcoms.
In. Out.
What the fuck? Big Time Rush was obviously a standout from this time. They're still touring to this day. They went full force into the slapstick humor, classic character tropes, and it worked. And then Sam and Cat happened, and I'm sorry because I know there was a lot going on behind the scenes. That show fucking blows. Victorious was one of the shows that I went back and rewatched for this video, and honestly, it's great. It was in a lot of ways comfortable being weird and plotless, and I thought the music really worked well. Aside from the nostalgia aspect of it, it doesn't necessarily have the same rewatch value in my opinion of something like Regular Show or Adventure Time, but that doesn't discredit how good it was. It was a genuinely entertaining show. We had a lot of great shows in Nickelodeon in this area, but we had some absolute shit butt stinkers too. I'm not letting any of y'all forget about Planet Sheen. I can't help but feel like in the modern age of television and movies, we are just not getting the same original stories that we used to. And I'm really not trying to come at this with an angle of, oh my god, everything when I was a kid was so much better. I'm really trying to take my nostalgia glasses off here. Going back and watching these shows really opened my eyes to one thing. During the previous decade, shows were designed for connection, not retention. The most popular preschool programming used to be things like Blue's Clues on Nick Jr. and Sesame Street on PBS. A great example is Cocomelon. They faced controversy in the past for literally being their content against other competing content, and whenever a child would look to the other screen that wasn't playing Cocomelon, they would rework that part of the video so that the kid was less likely to look away. That to me sounds like an MK Ultra experiment. Hey, editing random here. I just want to say, first of all, this is alleged. Please, Cocomelon, don't sue me. And secondly, apparently it was not competing content. It was footage of things happening in the real world. I did get that wrong, just so you know. So that brings us back to the conclusion of this video. Was the kids and young adult programming in the 2010s better? I'd say yeah, it was. Now, a great exception is a show like Bluey. Bluey is a show that can be enjoyed by literally anybody. It does not matter how old you are. I'm not saying that young adult and kids entertainment is destroyed. It's been tarnished by the way that we measure success in today's age of entertainment and content. I also just want to put a disclaimer. I don't really know what I'm talking about. These are my opinions. I'm a 22-year-old gooner. If you like this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna try to do one of these per week. I'm gonna try to make them better each time. This is my first one, but anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.